We're getting closer and closer to something that sounded impossible just a few weeks ago: Jon Jones actually fighting at the White House. Not long ago, Dana flat out said he couldn't trust Jones enough to make that happen, so everyone assumed the idea was dead. But everything flipped fast. Jones apologized to Dana, Dana publicly accepted it, and suddenly, the entire tone around this situation changed. Now, the MMA world is split on what Jones should do if this White House fight becomes real. Some fans want him to fight Alex Pereira there. Others want him to fight for the heavyweight title instead. And then you have Chael Sonnen, who dropped his own take saying Jones should fight Pereira, but at light heavyweight, not heavyweight. His reasoning is simple. Even though Jones bulked up, he and Pereira walk around at similar weights. If Pereira can cut, Chael believes Jones can cut too. Plus, if they do it at 205, there is an actual belt on the line. It's a historic location, so having a championship fight makes the whole thing feel bigger. Chael thinks a fight that massive should come with a belt, and Alex's light heavyweight strap is the one that makes the most sense.
Now, to put Alex Pereira in a fight in the UFC on any card and not put him in the main event, you better have one hell of a good explanation. I mean, you better have one heck of an idea if you're going to put Alex Pereira, a reigning world champion, not at the top of the bill. And quite frankly, if you're fighting him at the White House, the main event needs to be for the belt. If you wanted to make Jon show that he's earnest, you allow him to fight Alex Pereira, and you even let it be for a title, and you even make it the main event. You just make him cut down to 205 pounds. Problem solved. 100% of the problem is solved. And Jon isn't much bigger now than when he was fighting at light heavyweight. Jon walked around about 228, just a little bit south of 230. Completely out of shape. Just when he walked around, that was just as big as his body got. And now that's closer to 240.
Daniel Cormier just dropped two major updates. First, he says the UFC actually wanted to book Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. And second, he's convinced the fight that absolutely needs to happen is Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan. And now it all lines up with what's coming out of Spanish media, because Ilia is officially out of the running for the UFC's big Paramount debut. Spanish journalist Alvaro Colmenero, who has been spot on with Topuria news for years, revealed a disappointing shift in plans. According to him, the entire roadmap for El Matador has changed. He said private situations came up behind the scenes, and whatever is about to unfold at lightweight will surprise people. Colmenero made it clear that Ilia is not fighting in January. February is also very unlikely. His expectation is a spring return, and with that timeline, the only matchup that actually fits is Arman Tsarukyan, which multiple sources have already hinted at days ago. The UFC still wants that fight, just not at the start of the year. Rumors even started circulating that Ilia might vacate the lightweight belt, but absolutely nothing concrete backs that up yet. For now, everything points to Ilia versus Arman still happening, just pushed later than anyone expected. Bisping and Felder broke down the lightweight title picture in their recent episode. Let's dive in.
Paddy wants the shot, Justin wants the shot, Arman wants the shot. The question is, where is Ilia? What is he saying? He has got to respond to these guys. And I know he said a while ago that he would rather vacate than defend against Arman, right? But it's like Ian Garry, and we'll get to him. It's like Ian said on the mic to Islam, you're the champ. You've got an obligation to defend against the best. Yep. What is Ilia's statement at the moment? Where is he? Is he saying he'll take on all these guys?
I think I saw, and I don't know if it was true, that he wants to fight Paddy. And do I think it's the fight that should happen? Do a lot of fans probably think it's the fight that should happen? It's probably not, just if we're basing it on merit and really who's in the rankings and who should be fighting. Probably not. Do I love it? Yeah, I'll still watch it and I'll absolutely love it. But then you've got to fight Arman. If you beat Paddy, you've got to fight Arman.
A bombshell just dropped out of Russian media. Aslanbek Badayev released a teaser of his new interview with Arman Tsarukyan, and in that clip, Arman confirmed he had a run-in with Paddy Pimblett just a few hours after UFC Qatar. This was during that post-event window where all the big names were moving around the same building, likely the Fighter Hotel, and we already know a couple of other altercations happened that night. Arman didn't hide anything either. He said it never crossed into a physical fight, but it absolutely turned into a heated back and forth between the two. All of this happened happened just hours after Arman submitted Dan Hooker, a win that is going to have major implications for the lightweight title picture. Paddy, on the other hand, seems headed toward Justin Gaethje, especially now that multiple sources have confirmed the UFC is lining up Arman to face Ilia Topuria next. Arman himself revealed that this is the plan, and that the UFC does not like Gaethje demanding a title shot or threatening retirement if he doesn't get his way. The division has been painfully stagnant for months, but these matchups could finally get things moving. If Arman and Topuria gets booked and Paddy versus Justin comes together, the entire top 5 finally opens up again. Now let's get into exactly what Arman said in that interview.
У тебя были перепалки с Падди Пимблеттом. Этот парень довольно жестко, да, он высказывался в некоторых моментах. Ты сказал, что он, грубо говоря, продукт, там, пиар-машины UFC, он должен быть благодарен организации.
Я должен в эту игру играть. Если я в эту игру играть не буду, люди не будут меня смотреть. Меня вообще ни капли не задевает ничего, кто в интернете что пишет. Меня заденет, если кто-то подойдет и в лицо мне скажет, что ты там такой или сякой. Вот тогда меня заденет. В Англии им нужен человек оттуда. Том Аспинал есть, но нужен второй кто-то, чтобы хедлайнер был. В Америке его любят, он такой шумный парень. Из него пытаются сделать как Конора, но это не Конор. Второго Конора, я не знаю, будет или не будет в это. А кто там в интернете пишет, это просто болтуны, да. А когда вот так за столом или где-то в комнате, меня вот сюда посадите, когда не будет ни людей, никого.
Ian Garry is back stirring the entire MMA world, and this time he's aiming straight at the new welterweight champ, Islam Makhachev. In a recent interview, Garry said he saw obvious holes in Islam's striking at UFC 322. He admitted Islam looked clean, calm, and composed on the feet against Jack, but insisted that if you really pay attention in detail, there are clear striking gaps he'd exploit without hesitation. Then he went full villain mode, reacting to Leon Edwards getting knocked out. Garry said watching Leon's head bounce off the canvas was basically his Christmas present, joking that he should call Prates and thank him for the gift. Garry said he wants Dagestan vs. Ireland Chapter 3, first two being Khabib vs. Conor, and Usman Nurmagomedov vs. Paul Hughes. And the only way Ian can avenge for his country is if he takes Islam's belt. He's fully convinced he can do it, says it won't be easy, but believes he has the tools to break Islam's win streak and bring that title back home. For Garry, beating Makhachev would be the biggest moment of his career, and one he claims he's already visualizing.
He looked far cleaner on the feet against Jack this fight, and I was very impressed by that. His calmness and his composure on the feet was elite compared to what I've seen. However, there are still holes that you can see. If you watch that fight and you focus on the striking, there's obvious gaps that I will absolutely take advantage of. But when he grabs a hold of your leg, he's the best in the world. He's technically beautiful with his wrestling. He's smart. He's intelligent. He doesn't do silly things or make mistakes. He does the right thing every time. And he's a dangerous submission threat. However, I don't care for any of that. I'm so intelligent. I'm so smart on the feet. I'm so elusive. I'm long, I'm tall, I'm rangy. I'm undefeated against southpaws. So when we face off, he's got to get to my leg. And he's got to be able to catch me when I'm longer and taller than anyone he's ever faced before.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.